You can help support and promote the show by purchasing our merchandise at cafepress.com/Packard Pokes At, where you can choose from a variety of different items like hoodies, hats, and bears. Oh my! Put a Packard Pokes At mug in your hands today.
Do you like Packard Pokes At and want to hear it on demand and on the go? Download the free app today at Stitcher.com. Available on iOS, Android, Nook, and iPad.
You're on in 3, 2, 1.
This is Packard Pokes At, and I'm poking at your news. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another fine edition of Packard Pokes At. I am your immutable and unmutable host, Packard Sonic, and joining us tonight from the far East Coast is Joe Unseen.
I'm not Lebowski, man. I'm the dude.
and joining us from the far West Coast is Connie, Practical Magic 9.
Here, your most lugubriousness.
Okay, Reggie. I'm sorry. I have no idea what you're even doing.
The Great Conjunction!
I was doing Pain from Hercules, but it didn't come out that way.
Oh, that's all right. Well, it's okay.
I tried.
I imagine your Netflix queue filled with lots of fantasy TV shows and movies.
Yes, I do too. Anyway, this is episode 161, everybody. So, hey, we've got a few of these under our belts. But anyway, we got some wonderful stories for you tonight. So let's get going to our first topic for this evening.
Building a better future, science and technology.
Choo-choo trains. They're everywhere. But it's an old technology that has been around since the early 1800s. But now we are trying to advance this so we don't have to deal with, smoke, electricity, or whatever. No, not electricity, but smoke and cars running into them and whatnot. But if you want to go really fast and you want to get somewhere, you usually take a plane. But what does that have to do with trains? Everything. Because they are working on a new maglift. Now, you may have heard of the maglift train technology. And the top speed of most maglift trains nowadays is probably around between 268 miles an hour, just under 300, somewhere in there. And it's usually right now in Japan. And they are incredibly fast. You can go great distances in just a short amount of time. They are now working on a maglift train that could reach speeds up to 1,800 miles an hour. So hold on to your safety belts, and, I hope they come up with some kind of way of... If you ever see sci-fi, they've got some kind of gravitational force that holds you in your seat, so this way if you accelerate quickly or decelerate quickly, you don't get smushed up against the back of the wall. So... But one of the things that they're going to do, if they can get trains up to 1,800 miles an hour, is they're going to put in a gigantic tube, and then they're going to drop the air pressure inside so that train has less wind resistance on it, and it can fly down the tracks. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is pretty ingenious. The article says, as you mentioned, that they're sucking the air out of the tubes that the trains travel with less drag against them. Mm-hmm. This allows the trains, in theory, to reach these speeds. They, of course, have not built a full-size working one yet. They just have a smaller-scale prototype. What's really funny about this article is the picture that it comes with. This is on IFL Science.
Yes.
It shows a person sitting in a small open-top train car, kind of like a carnival ride, with a great big grin on their face. And the article is about a vacuum-sealed pressurized train tube. So this person must be like the breath-holding champion of China or something.
Hold your breath. We're going to put you on this train.
You better hope there's no particles of dust or insects in this vacuum sealed tube or anything, because you're going through it at 1,800 miles an hour. It's going to go through your skull.
Yeah, there's that old joke. You know what the last thing a fly sees when it hits his windshield? It hits your windshield. It's his ass. At 1,800 miles an hour, you'll be seeing his ass because it'll be flying through the window and hitting you. And did you last have any last trains or the last thoughts on that show. Hey, the last train is heading down to Packard. The Packard has derailed from the train.
I think I've already run the train on this article.
I see. No, I was right. It's in Shanghai maglev train, so I imagine that's in Japan or China, wherever it is. I don't know. It's a maglev.
China.
It's in China. Okay.
Darkest Dog says, "I'd like to buy a ticket." Certainly, sir. Suffocating or non-suffocating?
Right. Connie, your thoughts?
Well, this little test track, can you imagine if somebody was an asshole? Say, hey, look, watch what happens when I just make it stop. You know, some wily coyote get a little sign, like the guy inside on the train goes, help.
Yeah, there's those people out there that like to try to ride the trains on the top. If we have these tubes, it's going to change those movies forever.
I gotta say, no more fighting on top of the train. What are our action movies gonna look like? This is gonna ruin. What's gonna happen to?
Yeah, they won't be able to fight up there.
Tom Cruise and Keanu Reeves' careers if this happens. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because they won't be able to.
I know.
They won't be able to breathe on there, so they'll start fighting. They'll both just keel over and die because all the air will be sucked right out of their lungs.
Not to mention the fact that unless they have extreme magnetic shoes, yeah. As part of just the, I guess the rebuttals to this, you know, because the magnetic trains have been something that's really been stymied over the last couple decades. Mm-hmm. It's an idea that's been out there and it just can't get the funding or the backing behind it. I guess that is still money, but an interesting question that somebody had was, well, how are we supposed to secure the land rights for something like this? I'm like, well, I suppose that's true, but you know what? The Transcontinental Railroad in America was funded by the Railway Act of 1863 with loans and land grants, and it was federal aid that got the Highway Act in 1956. I wish that more people would get behind this idea because I looked at it. I tried to go ahead and say, okay, well, if this was because they said, they said specifically that the Business Insider said if you got on this train in Paris, you could have breakfast on the Champs-Élysées and then be in Red Square in time for lunch. And I go, well, because that's how I relate everything. I'm going to have breakfast in Paris and then lunch in Moscow. But and I was like, okay, that would be like if I got on the train here in Tacoma and an hour later I arrived in Chicago.
Yes.
And so I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, I don't know that the airlines are going to be all that happy about this. And what about the oil companies? And because this would be really amazing if we could get behind something like this, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. You know,
of course you get those. I'm sorry. Of course you get those environmental nutballs that'll get up there and they'll try to, we'll poke a little hole in here and it'll cause the whole tracks to explode as soon as the train comes through or something.
But actually for environmentally too, this is quite a boon because it's electrical. I think that the main questions about this have to do with noise. Mm-hmm. I don't know if this kind of a thing would make a sonic boom, and something about the electromagnetic, because some people worry about power lines.
I think in a vacuum tube it wouldn't make a sonic boom.
That's what I was about to say too. True. Yeah, I was just about to say that because there might be a small one. But I don't think it would be very. I don't think it'd be very large because the fact that
the guy sitting on the little Disney ride that we see.
I don't think there'd be a very large boom because the fact is it's not going to be completely depressurized. They're going to just lower the pressure, so there might still be one.
You can't make a perfect vacuum on Earth.
No,
you have to go to space for that.
Yeah, no, actually, if you want to make a perfect vacuum, you have to buy a Kirby. No, I'm kidding.
It's so hard to hear the "It's a Small World" song. I buy it at 1,800 miles an hour.
Wait, did we just go through that? It's already over. Small world.
It's a vacuum world after all.
Mommy, was that "It's a Small World"? No, that was the sonic boom. Go back to sleep.
Speaking of going to sleep, let's skip to our next topic for this evening. And tonight, we're going to be doing Shh, It's a Secret. Now, last week we suggested you give us some words to search for, but we didn't get a whole lot of votes, so we're just going to kind of do this randomly. And then when we do our next short show, we're going to go kind of back to what we were doing before, back and forth with some other stuff. But we're still going to do the Shh, It's a Secret in between there, so you look forward to this segment coming up in future shows. So tonight on Shh, It's a Secret, let's start with our first one. And it says here, I had really bad road rage today. I was swearing at the other car out the window until I realized it was my friend. Awkward. Connie, what would you say to this in reply?
Road rage. There's a lotion for that.
Nice. Okay, Joe. I'm on a date with a complete douche. Story of my life. What would you reply on this one?
Stop dating my dad. You're not my mother.
Excellent. I steal batteries from my job for my vibrator. Well,
I thought I was the only one that did that.
Wait a minute, it's mine. This is mine.
Oh.
This is mine.
Oh, it's your vibrator. Okay.
It's my vibrator. No, if you're going to do this, steal the rechargeables. Then you won't have to steal so many. Okay, Connie, I had to be restrained before my eye surgery because the anesthesia smell freaked me out. What would you say to this?
Oh, crap.
Come on, make with the reply.
Shit! Close your eyes. It'll be over soon. I don't know.
Wait a minute, it's eye surgery. You can't close your eyes. Okay. Okay, Joe, I stopped talking to one of my best friends because I found out she was a Holocaust denier. I felt embarrassed for her.
I feel embarrassed for you. The Holocaust never happened. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, it's Whisper. I have trouble shutting off the troll mode.
Poor deluded dolt. He has no friends.
How could they possibly kill that man? Oh,
okay. My best friend is gay and is married to his husband. But every time he talks about his husband to strangers, he refers to him as his roommate. I don't know why, but it upsets me. Fuck, it's not your life. Don't worry about what he says. If he says that to be uncomfortable or to make himself comfortable, let him be comfortable. But then that's actual real one I would actually say. But otherwise, you're a bad friend. Leave them alone. So.
Yeah.
Stop.
I think that was. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Connie.
I think that was a plot line on an episode of Will and Grace, actually.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had a boyfriend who kept introducing him as his friend. And he's
see.
like, "Hi, I'm his," and he's like, "My friend." It's like, "I'm your friend."
You've entered the friend zone.
You've entered the friend zone. Okay, Connie, my boyfriend thinks I'm hotter in my scrubs than lingerie.
I read this one and I immediately
trails really turns him on.
What was that, Connie?
Oh my!
Oh my! That's good. That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
I saw that one on there and I immediately thought, like, your boyfriend's fucking, he's spot on.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. All right, Joe, yours. Being summoned to truancy court. It's not my fault. I have a disorder that causes me to miss school. Sorry, inconvenience you that I stayed home to avoid embarrassment of peeing myself and had numerous appointments. Hashtag fuck school system. What would you say to this, Joe?
What? This doesn't even make sense to me.
Apparently he's peeing.
Truancy court?
Apparently he's going to truancy court because he's been staying home from peeing at home and staying at home instead of peeing at school. I guess I don't know. What would you say to this?
Wait a minute. Now there's urination involved?
Yes, I said that.
Oh my god.
I give you the hard ones, don't I, Joe?
I would go ad hominem and just like make fun of him and say like, you're an idiot. Like, I can't believe you're embarrassing the rest of us on Whisper and shit like that. Because like that doesn't even make sense to me. He's truancy court because he's peeing on himself. I don't get it.
Well,
Yeah.
if he doesn't, who will, Joe?
That's right. Who? If you don't, who will? So there you go. All right. Last one, and we'll be moving on. I wanted to know what getting a blowjob was like when I was young, so I used the vacuum. Not the same thing.
Yeah. It's also not a safe thing.
Definitely not a safe thing. Definitely not the same thing.
That sucks.
It does suck. Speaking of sucking, we're going to try not to suck so much on these very important announcements. We'll be back in just a few moments to ruin the rest of the show for you.
You should contact us by email at ppapodcast or packardpokesat@gmail.com, and follow the show on Twitter as @packardpokesat, and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/packardpokesat, or just type Packard Pokesat into the Facebook search bar. Call our Google Voice at 662-709-PPAP or 662-709-7727, and leave a short message and we will play it on the show. Join in the show live Friday nights at 9 p.m. Central Time at vaughnlive.tv/PackardPokesat. Download and rate us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Mixler Radio, and watch the show on YouTube. Visit our show page at packardpokesat.wordpress.com for links to the stories, and purchase merchandise from cafepress.com/packardpokesat to support the show. For everyone that rates us, you are awesome sauce.
Well, hello there. I'm Packard Sonic. I would like to take a moment to ask you to consider taking this and donate it once a month to my show, Packard Pokes At. To do this, just go to patreon.com/Packard Pokes At and subscribe. That's only a quarter a show. What else can you get for a quarter these days and get so much entertainment? In fact, the first 5 people a month that donate $50 will get a hat of your choice from cafepress.com. With a donation of $100 or more, you get a t-shirt and a hat of your choice. However, if you're feeling really generous and want to support the show and wish to donate $200, you get not only your choice of a Packard Pokes At hoodie, but a t-shirt and a hat of your choice. Even if you decide to donate just one of these a month, every little bit helps. Thank you for watching. And thank you, Joe. You do a damn good job of that. How do you get all those pictures and things in there?
You hit the mark every time.
And you do. You hit it every time.
The guy in the little dollar bill, he inspires me.
Oh, well. He is kind of a funny little man, isn't he? Actually, I do have an announcement on that. The gifts for the donations will be ending at the end of this month. So if you decide you've been waiting to the last minute to donate to the show, this is it. If you want to donate to the show and still get a hoodie or something, or a t-shirt or a hat or something along with your donation, at the end of this month will be the last. This is the last 2 weeks I'm going to be doing this special promotion. After that, whatever donations you make will just be just plain donations, and you won't be getting anything special from that. So if you want to get your item, please make a donation today, or as soon as you hear this show, or as soon as you hear the show, or whatever. So, but as long as it's before the end of the month. So
you should give out rechargeable vibrator
the good feeling
batteries.
of knowing that they help the show.
What's that?
They'll have the good feeling of knowing that they help the show.
Yes, they will.
That's
You'll
right.
have you'll have a good feeling that knowing that you help the show, and you help pay some of the bills that we.
Altruism.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And the vibrator won't run weak.
Oh. Okay, let's get on to our next topic for this evening.
Lenny says that I'm, get this, a little slow. How come you're not laughing? Do you think I'm slow?
Bah.
Oh, who am I kidding? I am slow.
I was not going to use that one. I forgot to use that one. But anyway, we're going to use it. We have a video tonight, which once you see the video, you'll understand why we use this particular clip for that. So we're going to play that clip for you now.
Talk about mental health problems, all right? The mental health problem is in the child who's confused. The mental health problem is not in all of us, not in the other people in society. It's not in the 99% of the girls who want to be left alone. The government now is saying that 99% of us have a mental disorder, and we ought to accommodate the one confused child who's the only sane person in the room, is what they're arguing. Well, that's absolutely ridiculous. And in fact, it's not just child abuse for the parents to dress their boy like a girl, but it's also genetically impossible. Did you notice? He's got an identical twin. So they have the same genes, they have the same DNA. That egg split in two, and you have a boy with DNA and a boy with DNA, and they're both boys. So for one of them to suddenly start dressing like a girl, it's not just a choice, but it's a demonic spirit. It's easy to say that one of those two boys is possessed by a demon, and the parents are encouraging that. And really what the parents ought to do is take that boy to an exorcist, take that boy to a minister, or at least discipline the boy, maybe give him a spanking, maybe dress him like a boy even if he complains and whines and says, I don't want to wear boys' clothes. Too bad, son, you're a boy, you got to man up. That boy deserves some tough love, and he never got it at home.
That guy is such a Dr. Assless Chaps, clinging piece of shit. Oh my God, he is such a fucking piece of shit. First off, I've got to say this. He says, well, if they don't like it, fucking beat him. Yeah, that always works. That if you can't convince them, otherwise, fucking beat them. Yeah, that's always the answer the Christians always go for. Beat the little child. Oh, and if he doesn't like it, tough for him. Oh, we don't want you to have individuality. And then let's forget about the whole. Let me go back here a little bit. He says, well, they're exactly the same. They're both in the same womb, but one's got a demon and one doesn't. Well, if they're exactly the same, then neither one of them have a demon, or maybe they both have a demon. How do you know that the demon is not in the kid that's straight, and he just has the straight demon, and the other kid just has he doesn't have a demon at all? Or whatever. I don't know. There's no such thing as demons anyway. It's fucking retarded. I know people don't like me saying that, but it is. That's a nut job type of thing to say. Joe, your thoughts?
Makes sense to me. Connie, your thoughts? No, I mean, is this guy for real? I mean, he actually recommended to a child's parents to seek the help of an exorcist.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I was like, what
an exorcist.
The fuck?
He's like, your child is possessed by a demon. You need an exorcist. He spoke those words with all seriousness and emotion and passion. He looked straight into a camera and said that.
I know. It's like,
I mean, like immediately this guy Klingerschmit is discredited. Like just like
Yeah, he's such a piece of work. I can't believe that anybody even takes Dr. Assless Chaps seriously. Anybody goes around, I'm Dr. Chaps. I was like, what the fuck? What?
Don't you immediately start thinking about Brokeback Mountain? You hear that? Which is so ironic, for given what he's talking about.
Yeah. But I actually, every time I hear his voice, I hear dun 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 dun, dun, the dueling banjos going off in my head, from Deliverance. Right. Did you,
I know nothing. You don't. You know less than nothing.
Right.
If you knew nothing, then it'd be something.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else, last words on that, Joe, or no?
No.
Okay, Connie, your thoughts.
Well, the last I checked, all of those little degrees he likes to flash around were in poli-sci, divinity and theology, and business administration. He has no degree in psychology. Mm-hmm. He does not get to go ahead and rewrite the digital and statistical, I think that's what it is, the DSM, the manual that psychologists use. And as far as any transgenders, the main problem with gender identity disorder has nothing to do with them identifying as the opposite sex. It's a result of social rejection and discrimination against them. There's mental problems because of the rejection that they experience. And I'm like, well, what mental disorder does Klingerschmit suffer from other than patternicity, and agenticity, according to Michael Shermer, which is, attributing things to demons. When he says spanking the gay out of him, basically the transgender out of him, it's interesting that physical violence is what machoism is. It's their answer to everything, because when manhood is challenged or threatened, then aggression is seen as a good way to get a hold on it.
Right.
And mental health is not an either or. He takes it very personally too. He says and so he goes ahead and conflates that 99% of the kids are not transgender and the 1% is, and we're being told that we're crazy and they're fine.
Right.
And I'm going, no one said anybody's crazy, but the jury's out on you. So
yeah. I wouldn't say I think the jury's
what
in.
About me thing. He takes it very, very personally, and it makes me wonder about his alignment, everything.
Yeah, no, it's usually the people who speak out the greatest against homosexuality are usually the closeted gays, and
he thinks he does protest too much.
Way too much. I'm not gay, but I speak openly for the gay community. So I'm confident in my sexuality.
We're human beings. We should be able to love who we want to love and be what we want to be. And transgender is, I admit transgender is something that's very puzzling. It's really, it's not something I fully understand, but I don't have to understand it to accept it.
That's right.
Their existence is dependent upon me understanding anything.
That's correct.
So, you know what? Anyway. I say that more as a disclaimer because I really don't understand everything about it.
Yeah, I don't know there's anything about particle physics either, but I know that there's people that do, so hey.
Physics have particles.
That's right. There you go. That's all you need. That's all I need to know. Physics has particles, and particles have coparticles. I don't know, whatever they are.
And there's a God particle, so therefore is a God.
The goddamn particle.
Are you that particle, Joe?
Yes.
Particle
I'm
man.
Full of God particle. Otherwise, I wouldn't have mass.
I knew it. Joe is God.
There it is. Joe's God.
Proof.
See, we have proof. There he is. He's on the screen for you, everybody.
I'd like to add though that what this guy is talking about isn't a homosexual boy. The boy is only 8 years old, and he's cross-dressing, and that's not necessarily homosexual. That's just cross-dressing.
Right.
I said it was transgender.
Yeah.
Transgender. He's identifying as physically as female.
Right. But little boys and little girls, they all play dress up when they're growing up. You'll see little boys dress like girls so they can play with the girls. I'm Miss Matilda or whatever.
That's why I say that I don't fully understand it because he might just be trying that on, but he's saying that he identifies as female even though he has a male genitalia, and so I think it's something else too. So I'm sorry. That's why I said this is really kind of. I don't fully understand it, but you're right, Joe. He's not. This child's not saying they're homosexual. It's because he wants to use the girls' bathroom, and dress like a girl and.
And forcing a child is to do what you want them to do, when they clearly don't feel that gender, whatever. Then that's the form of child abuse. Not saying, let the child explore their sexuality. That would be child abuse, not to let them do that.
Right. Or just beat them and take them to an exorcist.
Yes. Take them to an exorcist. That's not child abuse. Forcing them to say, "You're man up, son. You're a man, and you got to dress like a man." No, that's not child abuse at all.
Let's just look at Africa and see how well that's going for them.
Right. Exactly. Yes. Of course, the more fundy Christians would say, that's a perfect example. We want to bring that here.
They already brought it to Africa.
Witches.
No, I mean here. They want to bring the nuttery stuff
true.
that they've pushed onto them in Africa. They want to bring it back here and force the United States into doing this. That's what really sucks.
Well, the pastors who year or 2 years ago said we should just round up all the gays and put them in concentration camps and drop them food.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a guy running for president who wants to do something like that too.
Well, because we tell them they can't round people up into concentration camps and drop food on them. They say that we're victimizing them.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're denying them their religious liberty.
Yeah, I can't.
You keep using that word. I do not think that word means what you think it means. Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, is anybody got any last words on this then?
Klingerschmit knows nothing.
He knows nothing. Nothing.
I feel bad. I feel bad. I feel bad for the guy who played the guy on there. Now that we have to compare him to this because he was actually more intelligent than that.
He did the world a great service.
Yes.
It's a great meme.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay, let's get on to our next topic for this evening.
Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars.
And on tonight's Did You Know They're an Atheist, we're going to be talking about somebody who screams onto the microphone when he used to do his act. Of course, he's in his 50s now. He doesn't do that anymore. But you can see him on an old movie. We kind of touched base on it last week. It was called Police Academy. He played the nut job gangster guy who was in charge of this other gangsters, and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing? I don't eat meat. I'm vegetarian." And he's like, does this all his freak out stuff. He goes by the nickname of Bobcat Goldthwait, but his real name is Robert Francis Bobcat. Well,
Goldthwait.
Goldthwait. I've always mispronounced his last name. He was
because you have an issue with the Jews.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yes, that's what it is. It's the gold in the name, right?
You anti-Semite.
I'm an anti-Semite all of a sudden. He was born May 26, 1962. He's an American actor, comedian, screenwriter, and film and television director. He's been known for many stage performances, his dark stuff there. And in an interview in April 2012, he said that he's an atheist. He said, an interview asked him, "Are you a big gun fanatic?" referring to the fact that his character in the movie was a big gun nut. He goes, "No, I'm not Tackleberry from Police Academy, but I have a gun. That's the thing. There's no discussion anymore. Just because I'm a progressive or a liberal, I'm not supposed to have a gun. We're not allowed to figure out what works for people. You're either this or you're that. How can you be a vegetarian atheist and own a gun? Well, that's who I am. Mostly, I'm just tired of the fact that there's no more conversation or logic or reason. It's just an us versus them mentality." And that's what this movie is ultimately about. I think he's referring to the Police Academy movies in that sentence there. But
well, yeah, of course he is.
Yeah, but he talks about recently about a movie that he just did in a video that Connie sent me, it's a God Bless America. I think he directed it or something. I'm not sure.
Yes, he directed it.
Yeah, so I have yet to watch it. I just happened to find out about it tonight. So
very black comedy.
Yes, very dark comedy. Joe, your thoughts?
Jughead? My mother's name was Jughead.
That's a line from the movie. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I like Bobcat. I've always liked him. He's one of my favorite Police Academy characters. The fact that he's a gun-toting vegetarian atheist only makes him that much more awesome. And if you're not familiar with his work, YouTube is loaded with videos of his stand-up and Police Academy clips. What's cool about watching him in Police Academy is he was like the leader of the outlaw gang. Mm-hmm. And in the 80s, the bad guys were always punk rockers.
Right.
They were always people that dressed like punk rockers, even though punk rockers were very peaceful and didn't try to get into trouble or anything. In movies, they were always portrayed as these like scary people who are out committing crimes. And a friend of mine pointed this out to me because I used to be like really into punk rock music, and he pointed this out to me. He's like, if you watch a lot of 80s movies, all the bad guys are punk rockers. And I was like, oh my god, that's so true. Like if you look at Ferris Bueller's Day Off, when Jennifer Grey is in the jail.
Sheen. Yeah,
Charlie Sheen is sitting there and he's dressed like a punk rocker.
Right.
Yes.
In the Short Circuit movies, the Those locos kick your face. Those guys, they're all dressed like punk rockers. In Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, when
on the bus.
Who would turn down the radio on the bus? It's a guy with a mohawk and spiky leather. It's a punk rocker. And he's like, fuck you. And Spock gives him the neck pinch. And it's like in all these movies, these punk rockers, it gets such a bad image in the 80s. Like those damn punk rock kids running around ruining society. And meanwhile, they were like forming the first farmers collectives, and they grew up to become citizen activists and stuff.
Right.
In the movies, they're always portrayed as these awful people.
Right.
Oh.
Connie, your thoughts?
I was so afraid of punk rockers in the 80s. I was
they were terrifying.
Super uber Christian mommy raising kids. I'm like, oh, they're so scary. That's funny. Yeah, I didn't realize that he started, when he was 15 years old, he started, I guess, doing stand-up. He started his professional career in New York. And what's really strange is, his directing, credits are at least as long, if not longer, than his acting ones. He's done quite a lot. So I see a lot of pictures of him with Robin Williams, on IMDb. And the movie that Packard
Robin
talks
Williams
about,
is the horror
it's
of
called
IMDb.
God Bless America, and it's a very, very dark movie. I just watched the trailer. I'm going, oh my gosh, I'm not sure I can watch this, but it looks interesting. It does look very interesting.
Yeah.
So besides Police Academy, I loved him as Frank Cross as basically the Bob Cratchit character in the movie Scrooged with Bill Murray. And my other favorite thing is Pain and Panic Pain from the animated feature Hercules.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, a few years ago when every other boy was named Jason and all the girls were all named Brittany? Did
that very well.
Yeah, the little incidental minions.
Right.
So I'm excited to hear, and actually his birthday, Monday 26th, is his birthday, and it's also the birthday of one of my kids. He shares the birthday with him, so
cool.
Happy birthday, Bobcat Goldthwait, or what was his other name? He has another name. It's
Robert.
Jack Cheese.
Oh, Jack Cheese? Jack Cheese?
He actually has several different names that he's given himself.
Wow.
Jack Cheese.
Jack Cheese. I didn't know about the Jack Cheese one there, so. Anyway, if you want to check him out, he's on the IMDb, and his name is Robert Francis Bobcat Goldthwait. I actually pronounced it right. So
Yay!
Yay!
No, you didn't. Do it again.
You get a gold star.
A gold star for me. Yeah, there you go. So anyway, if you want to check him out, check out all the videos he's done, and you can be surprised at how much he's done, and the fact that he is an atheist. And that'll be it for us tonight. We'll be back next week with our regular longer show. And remember, this is the last month we're going to be giving away the T-shirt or hats or whatever with the donations. So get those in now, and we'll see you next week. This has been Packard Pokes At. We just poked at your news.
And that's a wrap.